camera.
Well, isn't that democracy? Or do you not believe in democracy?
You know, you said about these six
This is the way democracy should be, the way it used to be, going back 30 or 40 years ago.
Have you told the press that that's not the case with the Oxford Mayor?
No, that was the leader of the council that said that, I believe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the
Duncan
people aren't aware that that 6th district is not happening.
He is deputy to him, so he supports what he does.
Duncan's saying it's not happening. He said on camera it's not going to happen. The 6th district
Did
is
he?
not going to happen.
No,
Is that right?
yeah, that's exactly right. It's not.
What's not going to happen?
The 6th district, he's saying.
No.
So is that a categorical assurance that you are not going to, why are the press, so it's a categorical assurance that Oxfordshire or Central Oxford is not going to be split into districts? Is that what you're saying, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. What's your name?
Duncan Enright.
You are Duncan Enright, you are the leader. I thought you said you were the deputy leader, sir.
I am here.
Has it just been
You are
postponed?
here.
Has it just been postponed because of the railway station? Or
No.
is it actually never going to happen? I want to know whether it's never going to happen or is it
There was never
because of
a
the railway?
plan
There
to
was a
cut
plan.
the city
Well, you
off.
said it in the Oxford Mail, I saw that it's on the report.
I know, but you can't believe.
You can't believe the Oxford Mail then.
So where did the Oxford Mail get their information from? Because they have, I used to know because I used to work for the government. I know how the system works and they get their information. Where did they get their information from? Who's your press officer? Who would have given them that information?
No,
They said
it
that-
didn't come
Duncan,
from.
they-
We had, I think, a statement in here correctly stating what the proposals are, and they're not that. They're not to cut the city.
But they did say something, and I have to say this to you. They did say that you said, even if anybody goes against you in a very arrogant way, that they weren't going to get a chance in our of changing it. That's what it said in the Oxford Mail. So maybe you need to take
That's
that.
the quote in this article. Yeah.
You need to take that to the Oxford Mail, really.
I know.
Maybe you need to do a statement to the Oxford Mail and to all the press.
So would you like to make a statement on camera to the Oxford Mail? Because we share this on social media. Looking right, sir. Isn't it worrying to be answered questions by the public? Not.
No, because I've just come from a public meeting.
Yes, but that's not what you're paid for, isn't it? If you are the leader, you are paid to be
That's
scrutinised.
not going to happen, and it's not just on hold because of the railway station.
So can you say on camera to, this is the Oxford Mail, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Oxford Mail, they have misquoted you, yes or no, when you say, he insisted, that's yourself, Duncan Enright, the controversial plan would go ahead, the Central Oxfordshire Travel Plan, would go ahead whether people liked it or not. Did you say that, yes or no, to the Oxford Mail? Because they quoted you as saying that.
No, there has never been a plan to cut the city of Oxford or anywhere else into 6 districts. That is not the intention of anybody or of any
So are
council.
you going
anywhere.
to issue a statement to say that you never said that?
Yes,
They've
and
lied.
there is a description in that article, I think, and certainly in the Oxford Times article, of what is being proposed by the council.
You
And that's
really
what
need to
people
clear your
looking at.
name.
And on the council website, there's a very clear.
If you haven't said it, then you need to make sure that everybody knows.
So can you give us a clear definition? Say yes or no to this again. When you use the term, and this again is quoted, so again, are you saying the Oxford Mail have got this wrong again? Again, the Oxford Mail say, he said, that's yourself, the filters would turn Oxford into a 15-minute city with local services within a small walking radius. Did you say that or not? Yes or no?
No, not in those words. And 15
Not in those words, but what words? What words then, if it's not in those
What it
words?
talks about is providing local services close to people, where people
But
live.
maybe
So
people
I
don't...
live close to the local shop and to the pharmacy. I'm lucky enough to
So why, Mr. Enright, in
That's what
that
I'm
case?
talking about. And actually, I'll be talking to your friends inside of this as well.
They're not my friends.
Can I just, Mr. Enright, can I just say, I've been looking through your Central Oxford travel plan, and even in here, a slight change, you talk about 20-minute neighbourhoods. So are you telling me this is not in your own Central Oxford travel plan on your website? Again, is your website got it wrong?
Do you want to know
I think we're
Yes or no?
I
Yes
think
or
we're
no?
Is this correct? 20-minute neighbourhoods, is that correct?
Yes
I
or no
think
answer,
we're using
please.
similar words. To
No, this is your document on your website.
Yes or no answer.
This is your document on your website, yes or no? You're not able to answer that because it's on your website.
Liar. He's a liar.
Can I just say one final thing, Mr. Enright? If the press are lying,
Democracy!
Liars, you're a
it is lying because it's in here.
liar. Yes.
So can I just say to the people that are going to be watching this video, Mr. Duncan Enright, am I pronouncing his name correctly? I think that's his surname. The leader, he said he was the deputy leader to start with, but then corrected that.
Lies about that too.
The leader of Oxfordshire County Council that's behind this central Oxfordshire travel plan, which, when you read the small print and the jargon, it actually means a lockdown, a partial lockdown of areas of Oxford where the residents will be limited from their freedom rights to do all sorts of things. And let's just list what those things are, because this is huge, and it actually warrants a lawful challenge in the courts, in my opinion, with my understanding of the law. Now, this challenges people's human right to freedom of movement, freedom to work, freedom of religious worship and expression. If you need to go to churches and mosques or whatever it is, in different parts of the county or central Oxfordshire. That's another part of the Human Rights Act. The freedom, which I think is Protocol 1 of the Human Rights Act, to the right to education. Now, you are one of those people, Kim, because you have to travel to college.
I did.
And
I was travelling to Birmingham, which was very difficult. And another railway station.
But it's now this area, isn't it, that you travel in?
I don't now. I travel to Banbury because it was impossible to get to this area,
Right.
and it will be impossible once that railway station is gone. And since the COVID pandemic, none of the buses like National Express have been put back on, so people can't get a bus to Birmingham, and they can get to London, but they can't get anywhere else because National Express is completely, have no buses for them. So I don't understand. It seems to me like there's one rule for some people and a different rule for
Well, the problem is, which is with all the holes with this fancy jargon and language of sustainability and carbon, zero net carbon, I do wonder, on that point as well, which nobody ever talks about in these council meetings, what does net zero actually mean? Because they don't even know what it really means.
Yeah.
Net zero, let me just explain what net zero actually means. It doesn't mean a reduction in carbon. What it means, for those that do accountancy, and I'm not even an accountant and I understand this, what net zero actually means is that if public bodies and organisations and companies, corporations, it's going to be everybody eventually with the carbon credits economy, if they can provide paperwork, and we all know how paperwork can be fiddled, if they can provide paperwork that shows they're doing something to offset their carbon footprint, like, I don't know, they planted 10 trees this month, or they've installed a solar panel in their garden. If they can provide evidence of that on paperwork, which doesn't mean they've done it, then they have balanced into the system in terms of what the inputs and outputs reaching net zero. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So that doesn't actually mean a reduction in carbon. So what are these people actually trying to achieve? It's not actually going to reduce carbon. Net zero doesn't actually mean that. So we need to keep asking these people, what does net zero mean? Because I don't think many of these people even understand themselves what it means. So they need to ask questions. And do they even understand what fiat economics is and fiat banking? Because this new economy that's coming in, where it's just about fiddling the books, and then charging people taxes in the process, is about a new economy they're going to make money from. This is what it's all about.
They need to roll back the economy. That's the
And I do wonder,
control inflation. I know that.
and ladies here, I do wonder if Mr. Enright, who I was very disappointed at his inability to answer our questions and how he panicked at our very clear questions, I do wonder if Mr. Enright, sorry Kim, sorry Don here.
Sorry. I said he ran away from us like a frightened little
scared.
boy.
He was scared. He didn't want to. The problem is he was in a corner because it is on their website, 20-minute neighbourhoods. I read it all.
Oh.
It's on their website, 20-minute neighbourhoods.
So the
Okay.
were lying.
Oh, forgive me, ladies. You've got another 5 minutes of freedom to walk down this road.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I've got to go on a bike and look like crap at work. That's what I mean.
So forgive me. You've got an extra 5 minutes of freedom there, but it's still districts and it's still locked down. So Mr. Enright he gave that assurance because he means they're using different language. He even said that. It's not the same thing. They're using different language. They're not calling it districts.
They do it on purpose to confuse us.
Yeah.
Of course they do. They think we don't know, but the trouble is we've educated ourselves. More than them.
But anyway, we're going back to those Human Rights Acts. But anyway, he's categorically assured people there will not be districts. So we're going to copy this in if we can edit this too.
What about, is it called regions maybe instead?
They just won't use that language.
Yeah, that's it. And like you said, 50 minutes, not 50 minutes. No, it's 20. Oh, 5 minutes difference.
And they're using the word community to make it palatable as well.
Yeah.
aren't they?
Absolutely.
And
You know.
sustainable actually means cuts.
Sustainability means cuts. So this is the other part that's missing from all their plans, is how are people going to survive in 20-minute neighbourhoods?
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked to the leader of the council and he dodged all our questions, but he categorically assured us that they're not going to bring in these controls.
But he told us a load of lies as well.
So anyway, what was we saying? The problem with these plans is that things like rail transport,
Yeah.
national infrastructure, is the money that comes from the central part with central government. It is beyond at the moment, even though Rishi Sunak is talking about them being able to raise council tax. Have you heard the latest about council tax as well? They're putting it up.
I heard it's going
£1,000 it's going to go up.
But I heard that some people are now having to pay
Unbelievable.
£350 a month that are already struggling with gas and electric.
It's unacceptable.
Working people at food banks in the 6th richest country in the world. How despicable, while all they can talk about in there is climate. And I'm afraid that they shut down David Bellamy, I'm going to say it, and at the end of the day, they shut people like him down because he was telling the truth. It's an absolute another hoax, just like the Ukraine war with his little Ukraine flag on the end.
Yeah, yeah. And that says it all, doesn't it?
Told us the truth about that and how all that money's gone to the American Democrats and billions of